Recording in progress. Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Asger Power. I'm the committee secretary for the committee. We are just waiting for all members to join the platform. It would seem that the chairperson has taken ill, and we'll have to elect an acting chairperson for the day. The rules dictate that, the NCOP rules dictate that members of the committee present should elect an acting chairperson, and we need a quorum, which would be minimum of 7 members present. And at the moment, I have 6. So I'm just waiting, giving it a few more minutes to see if anybody else joins the meeting. I see the chairperson is on the platform. Chairperson, I hand over to you.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Well, I would think it's chairperson's phone. Let's see how many members we have on the platform.
Good morning, honorable members and colleagues in the platform. Let me take this opportunity to welcome the department for today's meeting. I am not going to waste any time. I can see we are forming quorum. Let me start with the agenda of today, whereby we are going to receive the present from the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development on they are presenting to us the bill today, which is 76. And the second item is the what is happening now? Can someone who is not muting, he can mute? Can you mute, please? Because you are disturbing the meeting. Okay. I was just saying the department today's, we're going to receive 2 presentations from the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development and Land Reform. I am not wasting any time. From my side, I receive only one apology from Honorable Magwala. And I don't know from the department, do we have any apologies? Or before the department, from you members, do we have any apology? None. Let me check from the department because I don't see.
Dr. Choko here. I can confirm that I've sent an apology to you, ma'am, for Minister. So Minister is attending to his medical condition with a doctor. I sent the letter. Thank you.
Unfortunately, I didn't receive it, but the apology is noted. And then the other apologies from Honorable Ngwenya. She will join us later in the meeting. Okay. Any mover and seconder for the agenda of today? Oh, before that, that is Sarah. That is Sarah.
Yes, good morning, Honorable Chairperson, and good morning to honorable members. And we tender apology of the Director General, Ndate Ramasodi, who is overseas on an official business. And I'll be representing the Director General in this meeting, and also apologies from Deputy Minister Kapa, who is attending Portfolio Committee, and I think also Deputy Minister Skwacha. They are probably in the but there's an attempt of them coming to join this one as soon as the Portfolio Committee concludes, in case you see them in this meeting. Thank you, Chairperson.
Honorable Labuskaghni.
Good morning, Chairperson. Thank you very much. Chairperson, I really have a concern that I have to raise now.
Yes, ma'am.
I know that Wednesdays are normally very difficult days because that is cabinet meetings, and we normally regularly accepted apologies from ministers and deputy ministers not to be at the briefings of the bill. And one can never argue on a medical condition, but I am really concerned on how this process is going out now, because we have a bill and a treaty today, and none of the political leadership, like the ministers or the deputy ministers, are present. And that's not the first time. So, yeah, this is now a sort of a practice that is established, and we just accept it. I don't feel comfortable with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Labuskaghni. Members, there are 3 apologies from the department. The head of department is not in the meeting. Minister is not in the meeting. 2 deputies ministers are not in the meeting.
Chairperson?
Yes, Honorable Marini Nana.
Nana. Thanks, Chairperson. Good morning, honorable members, and good morning to everyone. Chair, without really, it's a pity, that we take time to prepare for these meetings as members of parliament, as we should. We spend hours going through presentations, prepare for the meetings, prepare questions, and none of the political leadership pitches up. It's such a pity, and hear me out. I'm not blaming the minister. It's a health condition. It's a health condition. It's understandable, but at least one would have expected one of the two deputy ministers, who are actually two for instances like this. I mean, and as this committee, we have an established position that in instances like this, you know what you need to do, Chair. So I don't really think we should waste time. Thanks.
Honorable members, while we were talking, I managed to send a Deputy Minister Squasha message to say we are in the meeting. There are no principals in the meeting. He promised me to join the meeting now. And also I will ask the also check on him again. I will request 5 minutes from you, colleagues. If DM is not joining in the next 5 minutes, like he promised me, we'll come up with suggesting what we are doing, for this. DDG?
Yes, Honorable Chair. I'll check on DM Squatcher and DM Kappa. I know DM Kappa is at this moment attending Portfolio Committee, and DM Squatcher was also there, but let me check who of them can come and join us in this one. Thank you, Chairperson. Let me do it right away.
Because we can't do anything without any principal in the meeting.
Okay, Honorable Chair, I'm calling them now.
Honorable members, like as I requested, I say, please give me 5 minutes to wait for the DM to join. I don't want to do something that we didn't agree with. We agreed that at least head of the department must be there, or one of the deputies. Now, all of them, they are not in the meeting. So,
Chairperson, I am appointed acting DG, so from that part we are covered, but I'm getting I just wanted to clarify that DG is not here, but I'm appointed acting DG for the whole week, but I'm getting the principals to join. Thank you.
okay.
Good morning, Chief Whip. Morning, my whip. Hey, baggage.
Ma'am, Honorable Bibi. Honorable Bibi.
Recording stopped.
Chair, what's happening?
Recording in progress.
Chair, what's happening? You can't call us to a meeting, and then you go out as ANC caucus, you caucus, and then you put us on hold. It can't happen. Tell us if there's a meeting or there's no meeting. You are here on the... Tell us.
Honorable
No, you're wrong, man.
Honorable Makause, there is a meeting and there's no ANC caucus.
So where's the meeting? Why can't we hear the meeting? Why are you not sharing the meeting?
No, the chair has requested a 5 minutes window, Mem Kause, to allow the deputy minister to come in because
why do we
there were
have
no
to allow
political
the
heads of the
minister?
departments.
Why,
So that is why the
exactly
meeting is halted
when you are the
for
person
5
who
minutes.
allows these executive members to undermine us like this. Why do you have to allow for a person who accounts to you? And whether you must sit like you are a zombie in a meeting, waiting for them. Why? That's why they're undermining you, because you don't have authority. You don't.
We have allowed 5 minutes window, Mem Kause, so the chair will resume the meeting in due time now.
Chairperson.
Honorable Nana.
Chairperson, I hate doing this to you. I get a sense that you're not well. I mean, I can hear from your voice, but Honorable Makause is correct. You asked for 5 minutes. We're probably approaching 15 minutes now. It can be, Chairperson. The executive is answerable to Parliament, not vice versa. And as I would normally say this in our meetings, you teach a person how to treat you. And when he or she treats you in the manner in which we have taught him or her, you cannot complain. We can't be waiting as members of Parliament for a deputy minister to join the meeting. It's not supposed to be like that. Honorable Makause is correct. You are being undermined. By extension, we are being undermined. Please do what is correct, Chairperson. You know the position of this committee. Otherwise, I will have to disconnect. I can't take this any further. I mean, we're sitting at no, it's not right, Chair. It's not right. Please do the right thing.
We are representing our parties, and we are not representing ourselves.
Let's allow the chair to chair the meeting.
The position of our parties is that executive accounts to us.
Yes, but let's allow the chair to chair the meeting.
But why are you speaking whilst I'm speaking, Wena?
In her wisdom, she will guide us what to do.
Why are you talking?
So let's just allow her time to.
Because my views remains. I'm not representing myself, and I'm not going to be undermined by extension. If the ANC is allowing these executive members to undermine them, we as the EFF are not going to allow them to do that. So remain in your meeting so that they undermine you further. Remain.
Chairperson, please take charge of the meeting. Chair.
I'm still speaking. You are not even the co-chairperson and you are talking. Members of this committee are not allowed to talk because ANC people are just going to prevent them all the way to speak. Is this what we stand for?
Ma'am Makause, thank you, ma. DDG or acting DG, how far is the deputy minister?
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and good morning once again to honorable members. DM Squatcher, she's struggling to connect, but we got hold of DM Kappa. Unfortunately, at the time we called, she was busy answering questions in the PC. So the information I got was that as soon as she's done, she will join. So I caught her immediately while she was on the platform answering questions.
Okay, honorable members, all of you, Honorable Mamkause, Honorable Nana, and Honorable Laboskachne, I noted your point. Indeed, it was a decision of the committee to say if the principal is not in the meeting, we cannot continue with our meeting. But now there is a promise that the deputy minister, one of the deputies, will join, or maybe both of them, because Honorable Squasher, when I spoke to him, he was struggling with his network. He had a network problem, but he promised me to join. Also, Honorable Kappa, immediately when he finished in the meeting that he is answering the question, he will join us. So I really apologize on behalf of the whole committee to be for waiting for so long. 10 to 15, 10 minutes that we have been waiting for the principals to join the meeting. But honorable members, we have to join. I mean, we have to continue with the meeting, especially now when they say they will join. I don't see any
It was a
reason.
decision. It was a decision of the committee to say if there's no principal, we are not going to hear the department without their principals. But it was not a decision that if principals are not there, you are going to pick up a phone, run around, call them for us to wait for them. If you allow them to undermine you, don't drag us along. We can't be undermined by those people. We can't. We can't take a decision now. We can't be undermined.
No, I
when
took the decision,
you got the
Honorable
reason why they must undermine you? We don't have any reason.
I took the decision. We are continuing with the committee meeting. We are continuing.
Chairperson.
Honorable Abaskarne.
Chairperson, I really, yeah, I have heard all the explanations, and I think we are all reasonable people. I'm now sitting here for half an hour. It's not 10 minutes. It's now 29 minutes past 10. And I haven't done anything in the past half an hour. And I don't know at what time those two deputy ministers or one of them might join. I'm so sorry. There's nothing that says that this committee has to subject our time and our availability to those of the executive. This committee is an oversight over the executive. And if they have to account and be accountable to this committee, even in the case of legislation, because it's their legislation, they put this legislation on the table. The parliament is processing this legislation. If they don't have the respect for the process and the parliament as institution, and or if planning abilities are lacking, I'm so sorry. I am going to leave this meeting now and reschedule, please, or continue as the ANC. I'm so sorry. I have not been taken into account in many of these meetings, and this is it now. So please excuse me. I have work to do. I can't sit and wait here for a deputy minister for I don't know how long anymore. And let us please organize it next time and let the department put in these excuses long before the time so that the committee can plan. I'm sorry, I'm going to leave this meeting. Thank you.
I'm also leaving, Chairperson. I mean, we had a clear resolution. Our resolution never had a rider that principals must be given 5 minutes, which turns out to be 30 minutes. It is completely unacceptable, Chairperson. And as I will say it again, Chairperson. If your colleagues in the ANC caucus can undermine you in the manner in which they do, I will not be party to it, Chairperson. I've worked very hard for the little credibility, if ever I do have one, that I have. To be dragged in this manner cannot be party to it. I'm sorry, I'm leaving.
Honorable Fisare.
I agree with Honorable Labuskaghni and Honorable Malindi. I'm also leaving this thing. We cannot sit forever and wait for anybody to turn up. It's disrespectful. So thank you. I will also be leaving.
Ntate Serage.
Honorable Chair.
Okay, Deputy Minister, so that we continue with our meeting. We are still collaborating.
Honorable Chair, yes, we are hoping for DM Kappa to join any minute. We're still hoping. We've sent messages and have offers also.
In the meantime, honorable members, while we are still waiting for them, they will do their own presentation when they arrive to the meeting. Can you start to present the Serage? Or whoever who's leading the presentation?
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Member, Honorable Chairperson. We're starting with the PDAL bill, which is the Preservation and Development of Agricultural Land. On this bill, it will be presented by the director responsible and the registrar of the Ms. Busoga, and if she can be allowed the rights to share her presentation. Just whilst she's sharing, this bill, honorable members, is about the preservation of the land that we still have for food production. As we know, and that the Bill of Rights, Section 27, it is the responsibility of this department to ensure food production. And we've realized that the current legal framework, the only law we have is Subdivision of Agricultural Land of 1970, and it does not adequately assist in preserving the land that we have. We know the population is growing, and at the rate at which the population is growing, if we don't do anything, we may have problems with the production of food. It is on this basis that the Preservation and Development of Agricultural Land Bill has been developed, and we're going to present it to this August committee. Without wasting time, please get started, and from there we will also talk to the next presentation, which is about the treaty, the International Accession Treaty. For now, honorable members, with your indulgence, Mayor Soka will take us through quickly the presentation on the PDAL bill.
Thank you, DDG. Good morning, Chairperson of the Select Committee and also members of the Select Committee on Land, Environment and Mineral Resources and Energy. Indeed, we are going to present the Preservation and Development of Agricultural Land Bill. The first slide shows the acronyms that we are going to use. Among others is the PDAL itself, which refers to the Preservation and Development of Agricultural Land Bill, the Subdivision of Agricultural Land Act, which is SALA, and related. As part of the presentation, we're going to talk to the overall background of the bill in relation to food production and management of natural agricultural resources, and the overview of the bill and the alignment of the bill with the NDP and government priorities and the consultation processes that have been followed. So in relation to the nexus of food production and natural resources, especially land in the context of this bill, is that as the country, we are exposed to extreme environmental conditions, and this then requires us to be able to produce food out of the land. And for that, we need to optimally utilize this natural agricultural resources such that we are able to ensure that we produce the food and for food security in the country. And as the department, we have mapped the whole country, and we considered as part of the evaluation the soil, the climate, and the terrain. And for that, all the greener spots are the area that shows a higher capability of production. We also have, as part of that study, identified those areas which are of high potential and those which are of irrigation potential. And the blue part indicate the areas that are of irrigation potential. We also looked into the overall country natural resources and checked where are these areas which are being cultivated, such that we could be able to identify those which are marginal, and we can then be, as part of this tool, be able to reduce and address the severe impact areas that they are not being cultivated and create erosion. So these are part of our irrigation suitability across the country, and the dark blue has higher suitability of irrigation. This also just indicates to us that the percentage of agricultural land that we have for irrigation suitability, which is excellent across the country, is about 13.57. And this, as indicated, we are looked into the soils and the soil depth and the slopes and the available water table across the country. And generally, we have 13.41 rain-fed high potential agricultural areas in the country. So this bill seeks to entrench regulatory measures for the security of high potential agricultural land, such that we can be able to make land available for cultivation and also for livestock production. And it also promotes the balanced approach to the use of agricultural land. I must indicate that this bill is not about who owns the land ownership, but it's about the use of agricultural land. And the strategic instruments that have been provided and the technical instrument are there to ensure that we preserve agricultural land for the purpose of food production. So the bill aims to support the NDP by increasing land which is going to be available for agricultural production. Currently, we do have the Subdivision of Agricultural Land Act, which does not cover all the country. Hence, this bill has been introduced to ensure that we are able to cover even the areas that the Subdivision of Agricultural Land is not able to do so. So with the bill is going to ensure that a part of our land across the country is protected, is preserved for the purposes of food production, which is in line with the NDP and the AMP as part of the food security intervention by the department. One of the key priority for government is to create an enabling environment for public-private partnerships. And this bill does provide technical mechanism to delineate high-value agricultural land and establish a national agro information system, which is going to guide where interventions can be collaborated for the production purposes, and therefore guide investment that they can be collaboration among various partners from the community to the public and private sector to invest and work on that land, which has been delineated as high-value agricultural land. So the bill currently will serve as a legally and proactively measure to ensure that the available best agricultural land is utilized for the purposes of food production. And for that, we believe that there will be potential for us to increase employment and also reduce poverty level, as the people will be working on land, both rural and urban. The need for this bill is that the current administrative and the legal instruments are not able to protect agricultural land. As such, we believe the promulgation of the preservation and development of agricultural land into law will ensure that the department does achieve the mandate of food production as per Section 27 of the Constitution, but also enable the country to be able to address unemployment by people working on the land. With consultation, the bill went through a number of consultation within and outside of the department, and that includes the National Economic Development and Labour Council, in which the bill has received a positive comments. The bill also went to the asset cluster, DG cluster, where there has been considerations and the bill has been approved and been introduced to Parliament by 2021-2022 financial year. The OSLA also certified the bill as in line with Section 76. Other consultation process that has been followed included us having roadshows across the provinces and also Gazette, and considering all the inputs that has been received by both the public and the written submissions. So in conclusion, the committee is requested to note the report and also consider the bill. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, ma'am, for your presentation. I don't know, Acting DG, do you want to add something before I can give to members?
Yes, thank you, Honorable Chairperson and members. I think maybe just to simplify it in granular details. The current law that we have about agricultural land is the subdivision of agricultural land of 1970. As we can all imagine, in 1970, a lot of these developments that are happening could not have been foreseen. On a daily basis, in fact, per week, we process not less than 20 applications for the change of land use in the country. This is threatening the availability of land for food production. The land that is currently under the ownership of government, this includes traditional leaders, provincial and municipalities, that land is not provided for under the current law. So in other words, when these investors and the big commercial outfits, when they want to use or to change land, which could be high value agricultural land, to change it into a supermarket or something, they first donate it to either local or traditional authority, because they know that once the land is transferred, it's donated and it belongs to a sphere of government, the subdivision of agricultural land does not apply. So this is a big loophole as we have it now. This bill seeks to close that one because it will apply to all land in the country, irrespective of who owns it, and it does not interfere with the rights of ownership of land, but it dictates what must happen on that land. And this is not any other part of land, but it will be land that would have been mapped and scientifically proven to be of high value. That land then is going to be preserved, hence the title of the bill, Preservation and Development. So it will be preserved for use only for food production. So basically, this is what we're asking this August committee to consider, because without this bill, if the number of applications for change of land use is anything to go by, we may end up with no land, because those that are rich and have already made their money, they are changing the good soils into solar panels, into other things, into accommodation establishment, which are not by no means not irrelevant. But the problem is that we may not have land on which to produce food. We therefore hereby submit an Honorable Chairperson, and we will be gladly respond to questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Acting DG. Honorable members, here is the presentation from the department. I will see or hear from you by raising your hand if you have a question or you want to comment. Let me check. Welcome, Mama. Yes, I recognize you, Mama. For now, I can see only Honorable Winingwenya. For now.
Okay,
yes,
thanks
Mama,
very much. Thanks, Chair. Chair, I don't want. Can you please? I want to make apology in terms of my photo. The place that I am is not right to open the video.
No, you can continue,
Okay.
Mama. We understand. All of us, we are struggling with network.
Okay. Thanks very much, Chairperson, for recognizing me. And let me start by appreciating the presentation of the department about the bill. Honorable Chairperson, having listened to the briefing by the department, I wish to ask the following question. Chair, I wanted to check how the department was dealing with the many calls of communities in Mpumalanga who were being affected by mining license impact on agriculture land. Chair, lots of the agriculture land, including the other provinces, were being allocated with mining licenses, and this has resulted in court cases. My second question, Chair, I wanted to check if the implementation of the bill will include the other spheres of government and whether municipalities and provinces had been informed about effectively implementing the bill. In 2015, Chair, the implementation costs were estimated at 68 million. I want clarity if this amount was still applicable and whether the fund has been secure and if they covered other spheres of government. My last question, Chair, is on slide 16 of the presentation regarding the consultation process. I wanted to know whether the department has consulted the National House of Traditional and Hoosisan leadership to make input on the bill. If yes, what is the positive of traditional leaders on this bill? I thank you, Chairperson. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Mama. I think it was the only one hand that I recognize and I see there. Honorable members, are you okay? I can give back to the department to respond, Honorable Kiva. Okay. Acting DG, it seems your presentation is straight and forward. Honorable members, it's only Honorable Winingwenya who asked question. The rest, they are okay. You can respond.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, and thank you very much, Honorable Ngwenya, and for this very, very relevant and very profound questions. On question one, whether communities will be impacted by what's happening in the basically it's about in Mpumalanga, and there have been court cases. And after this response, I would ask Mebusoka to go into that specific court case. But let me just respond to give normal general responses. But because she's got details on the court cases, we'll get to that. But as far as this bill is concerned, Honorable Ngwenya and Honorable members, once enacted into law, it applies to every land use, so including mines. So yes, the situation that we had in Mpumalanga, Witbank, and all other areas is because we did not have this bill. Hence, we could see mining coming in and people being affected negatively by those operations. So yes, this bill intends to correct exactly that which Honorable Ngwenya is referring to. Her second question is with regard to whether the bill includes other spheres of government and whether consultation has been made. Yes, Honorable Ngwenya, this bill, it includes, once enacted into law, it applies to all land, irrespective of who owns it, whether private, whether foreign, national, whether the local sphere, municipality, provincial sphere, government department, public works, owned land. It applies to all land that is in the country, and for as long as that land has been mapped and scientifically proven to be a high-value agricultural land. So this bill applies to all spheres. And yes, consultations were made to all spheres and all other affected communities. The portfolio committee led a massive rollout of consultations, and it has gone through to even the provincial legislatures and different formations of government. This bill has been presented there. About the cost that were estimated at the time when the bill started remain the same. We don't really foresee a lot of money required. As soon as we will just need initial funding to set it up and to do the mapping, which we're going to have for simplification purposes. We're going to have an online system where all farms are mapped, and anybody investing or anybody, especially you, honorable members, can simply log into it and see where this land is and whether this land has been classified as high value. So that much will incur some cost and the initial purposes. And once that's done, we will have the normal capacity. We may just augment with 2-3 officials because this bill will require its own registrar. So we may just have the registrar and support staff to operate, but we don't foresee the cost going beyond 6 million rand. And whether the bill, fourth question, has been through the National House of Traditional Leaders and Khoisan Leadership. Yes, in fact, the bill has been there and it has been referred by the portfolio committee to the bill, to the House, and we have the bill has served there adequately, and the traditional leaders made their contributions and they were adequately afforded an opportunity to engage the bill. With your indulgence, Chairperson, I would ask that Mewswa specifically talk to the issues about the court cases that, as part of this process, we've had to deal with. Thank you, Mewswa.
Thank you, DDJ. I think in relation to the court is that PDAB, as DDJ has already alluded to, is going to apply to all agricultural land. And currently with all mines that are happening, and especially in the Wheatbank area and Mpumalanga, it has been the issue that the mines are not included in the subdivision of Agricultural Land Act. And with that, then when we have the preservation and development of agricultural land, we realize that as a gap, that most of the agricultural land, not only in Mpumalanga, but also some parts of Northwest as well as Limpopo, most of the grazing land have been overtaken by mining. So I think for that, we believe this bill is going to close that gap, that now even the mining are not going to be excluded, as this will be integrating other legislation and spheres of government. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Member, for responding. Any follow-up, honorable members? None.
Chair, I did hear the response on my last question.
Okay. Member,
in terms of, yeah, on my last question, the third one.
Okay. Member,
yes, on the traditional and horses and leaders to make the input on the bill.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Member Honorable Winnie Ngwenya, didn't hear what is your response on the Khoisan and traditional leaders' input on this bill?
Thank you, Chairperson. They have been consulted as well as through the other processes of the PC. There has been written submissions which the department has also considered, and they were in support of the bill. And I thought that the DDG has responded to it. My apology as I didn't repeat what the DDG has indicated, that yes, they were consulted, there was their input as part of the process. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Honorable members, I don't... Honorable Gwen, you still want to say something? Okay. I don't see any hand for now.
Thanks much, Chair.
Ma'am,
Thank you very much, Chair. I'm satisfied with the response of the department. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, ma'am. You can move. Okay. Now we are going to receive the second presentation, what read from the department. Acting DG.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and again, good morning to honorable members. This one, we are asking the this August committee to allow us to accent, in other words, to join other countries, if you like, other parties that are part of the treaty. The treaty meaning basically the agreement at the international front, for us to be part of them, so that our research and available information about the genetic materials, in this case, specific case of plant, that is the seeds and related, so that what we have in the country can be protected, so that nobody can take our genetic materials and seeds and plants and use them without our consent. So because we are not part at the moment, any body or any country or any organization can easily take and use them, because we have not joined the treaty, and we therefore do not have anything that we have presented to them. In other words, this is like an IP, intellectual property, for simplification purposes. So when you've got an IP, you need to everybody else to know that you've got intellectual property, and therefore nobody must use it. And those that need to use it must ask for your permission. And we asking, because South Africa is behind, as other countries within the SADC region have already joined, and members can see the threat that countries that are closer to us, if they are members, other countries can just get, and we may lose the genetic material that we have, or we may have it duplicated in other countries without our consent. To lead us in this presentation, we have Dr. Netno Ngwana, who's the registrar responsible for genetic resources, and she's going to take us through the presentation with your indulgence, Chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you, DG, and good morning to the Honorable Chairperson of the committee, as well as honorable members. I will be taking through the members through the presentation on the international treaty, as alluded to by DDG. I'm just struggling to get to the second slide. Apologies. Thank you. Just to take you through the acronyms that we'll be using, I'll just highlight the CBD, which is the Convention on Biological Diversity, CSB, which is the Community Seed Bank, ITPGRFA, which is the international treaty itself, as well as PGRFA, which is Plant Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture. Now, the plant genetic resources for food and agriculture we are talking about, they consist of diversity of seed, both for traditional varieties as well as modern varieties, including crop wild relatives and other wild species. These resources are very important because they are crucial for sustainable agricultural production. They provide basis for food security. They represent diversity of crops that can be used for current and future use by farmers, breeders, and researchers, and they are used as for food and feed for domestic animals. Globally, there has been a recognition of the importance of these PGRFAs, including their contribution to agriculture and food security. There's a concern that we are losing these resources, and that loss poses a severe threat to the world's food security in long term. Conservation and sustainable use thereof is very critical to safeguard crop production and to meet environmental challenges and population growth. Now, the two major international instruments that recognize the conservation and sustainable use of genetic resources for food and agriculture, as well as fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising from their utilization, are the CBD, the Convention on Biological Diversity, as well as the treaty, which is our discussion today. The CBD is administered, or rather the national focal point thereof is the Department of Forestry, Fisheries, and the Environment. And locally, we have domesticated the CBD through the National Environmental Management Biodiversity Act, commonly known as the NEMBA. However, the NEMBA is excluding the plant genetic resources listed under treaty, and therefore that instrument does not cover the crops that we are referring to. Such crops are covered by the international treaty, which its focal point is the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform, and Rural Development. Because the country is not yet party to the treaty, it does not mean that the department is now ignoring the plant genetic resources for food and agriculture. Some of the treaty activities are conducted by the National Gene Bank. The National Gene Bank was established in 1995, and it is housed within the Department of Agriculture, as said. The programs thereof include ex situ and in situ conservation, meaning that we have a collection that is stored ex situ in the gene bank, of which we have more than 6,000 accessions or plant material. And the majority of the material that is stored at the gene bank belongs to the cuckoo beets at 18.5%, cowpea and bambara at 16.2%, maize, as well as sorghum at 5%. Our ex situ conservation program includes collection of the material, the processing thereof. We conduct germination testing, we'll multiply and characterize the material, we document, and we store it for long-term storage. And also, what most important is that we do provide access to these genetic resources to farmers and communities through our repatriation program and to researchers to conduct research. And the collections that we do, we obtain the material from different communities across the country. This slide is just showing some of our collection missions in Limpopo and Northwest provinces, where our officials, they will share the importance of conservation and the programs that the department has with the farmers, and also request the farmers to donate some of their materials so that we can keep it in the gene bank for long-term storage. It is from this material wherein farmers who are in need of material, perhaps maybe the material they no longer have due to natural disasters, they come back to the gene bank and request the material that they have stored. We would have multiplied it and will be able now to repatriate back that material to the communities. As mentioned, we don't just keep the material because the value of that material is through its use. So we multiply the material and also we characterize the material that we keep. For long-term storage, we use freezers, walk-in freezers, deep freezers, but the material must be stored within a certain temperature range for it to be able to remain viable. Other than ex-situ conservation programs, we have in-situ or on-farm conservation programs where we promote that the material be conserved where it is planted. And we have on-farm multiplication projects as well as community seed banks. And through these programs, we promote seed and diversity food fairs and also participatory plant breeding programs. Participatory plant breeding programs is where farmers from the community seed banks will identify their crops of interest as well as their traits or characteristics of interest. And then we conduct research based on that with the collaboration with the farmers. This is just to indicate the on-farm multiplication projects. We have them in Free State as well as in the Northern Cape. And mostly they plant maize as well as beans. The community seed banks that we have the community seed bank in Gumbu, in Limpopo province, Stegspruit in Eastern Cape province, as well as Jericho in Northwest province. We have more than 300 accessions that are stalled in the three community seed bank. Most of them are for maize, beans, sorghum, pearl millets, groundnuts, to name but a few. These community seed banks are managed by the members of the communities themselves. This is just to show the seed and food diversity fairs that we normally have with our seed banks. Here, farmers from one community seed bank will exchange seed with another community seed bank. What we have seen previously was that there was seed shared from Gumbu, for instance, to Stegspruit, where farmers in Stegspruit would maybe see that they don't have enough variety of finger millet, for an example. So they will plant material from Gumbu in Stegspruit and vice versa. In participatory plant breeding, 3 crops have been identified as interest to the farmers. We have pearl millet, okra, cowpea, as well as sorghum. We are conducting research on these crops, and we are working together with the ARC as well as the provincial departments of agriculture. Now, coming to the treaty itself, the treaty is about these resources that you are referring to. It was adopted by the FAO in 2001, and it aims at guaranteeing food security through conservation, exchange, and sustainable use of PGRFA. And the objectives of this treaty are the conservation and sustainable use of PGRFA and fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising from their use. One of the most important articles of the treaty is Article 9, which recognizes farmers' rights. This article is important because the treaty is the only treaty that recognizes the rights of farmers in as far as the conservation and sustainable use of PGRFA is concerned. This article also provides for the protection of traditional knowledge relevant to these resources, and also provides for the right to farmers, the right to participate in making decisions at national level on matters related to conservation and sustainable use of plant genetic resources. And as the department already, this article, we are exercising it through these community seed banks, where it is the farmers who will make decisions on the genetic resources that are grown locally and kept in their community seed banks. Currently, the treaty has about 145 contracting parties. This number is increasing, honorable members, because we have seen recently Nigeria and Somalia were applauded for joining the treaty as late last year. Late last year, the treaty was welcoming Nigeria and Somalia. By being members of the treaty, the contracting parties, they agree to provide facilitated access on PGRFA, and this is only on 64 crops that were considered of importance for food and forages, and these are included in what is called Annex 1 of the treaty. South Africa had not yet acceded to the treaty because South Africa was observing the developments around the treaty in view of the attainment of goals of the treaty. Also, how the benefit sharing mechanism is progressing, and also the multilateral system of access and benefit sharing. In February of 2018, the then Minister of Agriculture granted approval for the department to reinitiate the process towards South Africa's accession to the treaty. Following that approval, we started with initial consultation, where we had a national stakeholder workshop. We had participants from various stakeholder groups like your CSOs, farmer groups, government departments, research institutions, and so forth. We also obtained legal opinions from the Office of the State Law Advisors and DERCO. We had also in 2020 published the treaty for public comments, and such comments with the closing thereof was in January 2021. From those consultations, there was general support that South Africa should accede to the treaty, mainly with the acknowledgement that it was a very important instrument as it recognizes the farmers' practices and farmers as the custodians of the genetic resources and the role they play in the conservation thereof, as well as the rights of farmers to save, use, exchange, and sell farm-saved seed. The legal opinions that were obtained confirmed that the treaty was not in conflict with any domestic law of the country. And the rationale of acceding to the treaty will support our national development plan and government objectives and priorities, particularly on sustainable management and use of natural and biological resources, as well as rural development. As indicated, the treaty recognizes the current and future contributions of local and indigenous communities and farmers, and it also affords protection for traditional knowledge. Globally, there are rigorous negotiations on various issues pertaining to access and benefit sharing. The treaty is of no difference. Negotiations are going on the multilateral system on access and benefit sharing, and it is prudent that South Africa is part of these negotiations so that we can also safeguard our interest in as far as conservation and sustainable use of resources is concerned. On implications, constitutional implications, it was confirmed that the treaty falls within the ambit of Section 2312 of the Constitution, and therefore acceding thereof will require parliamentary approval. On financial implications, the treaty is funded through a funding strategy, and this is through voluntary resources that are allocated by governments. And also there are international organizations such as the Crop Trust, which provide funding towards the funding strategy of the treaty. And then nationally, already we have programs on conservation and sustainable use of PGRFA, and these are funded through the departmental MTF allocation. As far as human resources are concerned, as indicated, the National Gene Bank already conducts activities that would be required of us. No additional human resources will be required at this stage. And also, we just need to strengthen the National Gene Bank capacity and infrastructure in order for us to ensure the effective implementation of the treaty. In terms of the implementation plan, we have the Gene Bank, We have the national programs alluded to earlier on ex situ and on-farm conservation. We have the National Plan on Conservation and Sustainable Use of PGRFA. We do collaborate with provincial departments of agriculture on the establishment and maintenance of the community seed banks. And we also collaborate with Agricultural Research Council on participatory plant breeding initiatives. If we were to implement the treaty, we need to implement it mutually with NIMBA, that is administered by the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment, because that legislation deals with bioprospecting and access and benefit sharing. Also, we need to take into consideration the Indigenous Knowledge Systems Act that is administered by the Department of Science and Innovation. EDG, I'll hand over to you for the recommendation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, honorable members. We hereby present this request for the country to join and become members, which in their language they use it to accent to the treaty. And as it is a requirement that we get this approval, and all other processes have been followed, and we are hoping for honorable members' consideration of our application. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. We present.
Thank you very much, Dr. and Acting DG. Let me welcome Deputy Minister. She's Deputy Minister Kapa. She's in the meeting. Deputy Minister, do you want to say something, or I will give you to summarize when we are done? Do you want to say something about the treaty? Network problem. DM. Mem Kappa, Rosemary. Oh, okay. Honorable member, while we are the DM maybe struggling to speak because of network. Here is the presentation from the department. I'll hear from you. Do you want to ask question or do you want to comment? I'll see by raising of hand. I don't see any hand. I don't see any hand.
Yes, Chair. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Yes, Mama.
Thanks very much, Chair, for giving me this opportunity. And also thank you for the presentation. Chairperson, on slide 17, the department mentioned that it has 145 constructing parties, including 13 from the SADC region. I want to check, Chair, why did it take so long for our country to agree to be part of this treaty? Chairperson, I understand that this is a plant genetic resources treaty. Now, Chair, I want to check if there is a similar instrument for the animal genetics. Also, Chair, I wanted to find out whether the commercial farmers were consulted as they go for mass production. Lastly, Chairperson, I want to check that does the treaty recognize the right of all farmers, irrespective of scales of operation? Thank you, Chair. Ngiyabonga. Why manje ivalekile le nto?
Thank you very much, Honorable Ngwenya. Up to so far, I don't see anyone. It's only Honorable Ngwenya. Acting DG. And Acting DG.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you very much, Honorable Ngwenya, for the questions. Yes, indeed, we took long, and we were observing the space, and we wanted to weigh our options, and because we, as countries, as the Dr. Nongwana has already mentioned, there were times when the whole world was not looking like they would join, and we were observing, and at the same time checking the advantages of joining against not joining. And we've been carefully assessing the situation when we've got to where we understand that we need to be members. And this, just to give an example, in the unlikely event of the country suffering any catastrophe that will wipe out all the maize seeds, for instance, that we have, it will be our membership to the treaty that will assist us to access seeds to re-establish seed production and cultivation in the country. But this, we didn't take it lightly. We didn't just join, really need to join. We needed to assess the situation, and we are comfortable through scientific assessment of the activities of the treaty that it is important, it would be in the interest of the country to join. The second question from Honorable Ngwenya is whether commercial farmers have been consulted. The answer is yes, and this process was very open, and they have been consulted. And the third question with regard to whether all categories of farmers were included and are respected in the rights of those, yes. The answer is a big yes, and also Dr. Nongwana mentioned, and I would allow, with your indulgence, Chairperson, just for her to specifically spend some time on the rights of farmers and how this treaty recognizes the rights. In fact, it has emphasis on the rights of those farmers. Or with your indulgence, Honorable Chairperson, Dr. Nongwana, sorry.
Thank you, DDG. DDG, as you have correctly pointed out, the rights of all farmers are recognized because farmers are considered as the custodians of these genetic resources and the crucial role that they play in conservation thereof. So all the farmers which are custodians of the treaty are covered, and those rights, they include their participation in making decisions at national level on any matters that relate to the conservation and sustainable use of these plant genetic resources. If I may, DDG, there was one other question on whether there is a similar instrument for animal genetic resources. Currently, we do not have a treaty in that regard. However, the department actively participates in the Commission on Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture, also under the FAO. And that body has developed a global plan of action on animal genetic resources. And that global plan of action, it has already identified the priorities that should be taken care of in regards to the conservation and sustainable use of animal genetic resources. And through that process and the implementation of the global plan of action, as well as the development of the status of the world on animal genetic resources, it is foreseen that in future we will be having a similar instrument on animal genetic resources that will be along the lines of the International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resources for Food and Agriculture. Thanks, DDG.
And thank you, Honorable Chairperson. We submit.
No, thank you very much, Acting DG and Doctor. I can see again the Deputy Minister is in the meeting. DM Kappa. DM. Yeah, not. She's honorable members. You can see Honorable Deputy Minister. She is in the meeting. You can look on the screen. Like she promised us that she will attend. She'll join. She is in the meeting.
Thank you very much, Chair. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you very
Mama.
much, Chair. And good morning to all the honorable members and guests. I've just arrived, but my very important mission is to really apologize profusely to the committee because they couldn't start in time, having no assurance that the principals, one of us, would be here. I'm sorry I was in the portfolio committee and ready to respond. That's why I'm only arriving now. But can you allow me, Chair, to contribute by saying all what the department, through the acting DG and the actual presenter, is presenting to this committee is what we went through, is what we know. And also as a department, we understand the importance of the protection of our own plants, our own soil and everything. But without us being the member of this international treaty, we cannot refuse if they actually get some of our plants and move away and try to also to sell them and spread it throughout, whether it's grasses, which is important for our pastures, very important indigenous medicines that are used for various issues in South Africa. And therefore, we wouldn't like to be found wanting when this comes. I am pretty sure it's long overdue that we had done this. Having all the people come in South Africa and go back to their own countries, they can't be able to take them because we have got no actual legal instrument to bind and to regulate that this cannot be done. It is upon this particular purpose that the department seeks your approval so that we can be able to say this particular sphere of government has agreed that we go and present to cabinet. And therefore, we so wish, that's why we are here, again, profusely apologizing for our not being here in time.
Thank you very much, DM, for attending such important meeting. And just to brief the committee together with your department, we really appreciate that, Honorable DM. I think I can even say, honorable members, you are satisfied with the questions and answers?
Thanks very much, Chair. It's Honorable Ngwenya.
Yes, Mama.
Yes, Chair. Okay, thank you, Chair. Chair, I wanted to thank the department for replying on our questions. I'm satisfied the way they have responded. Thanks very much, Chair.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Ngwenya. DM, you can give us, if you want to say something before we can release you. And we thank you, the department, to present so important treaty and also the bill to the committee. You can say something.
Thank you very much, Chair. And I am also excited that this select committee will have its legacy report, having approved such an important part of our existence and pride of the country. I really thank you for going out of our way, be able to facilitate and make it possible for the department to present. I once again thank you very much. I've listened as long as I have actually been able to come in, and the questions and the last presentation on the bill, etc. And therefore, I thank you for everything. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, DM. I think now the department, thank you very much, and Tatesarache and your team for presenting. Now you are released. The members of the committee must remain. We continue with the items of the committee.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, and thank you very much, honorable members, for affording us this opportunity. Thank you. We will depart the platform. Thank you.
Thank you very much. While we are waiting for them to leave the platform, let me get the minutes of our last meeting and check with the members whether did they receive the minutes on time. Did they read the minutes?
Hey, mancane amagama le nto angiboni yazi.
Awuboni mama?
Eish. Yes, Chair, I can see now your slide. Now I try to open it. Yes.
Okay. Did you receive the minutes on time and read them, members? Let me see those who were in the meeting. Honorable Mukiva, Honorable Gwena, Honorable Nyambi, Honorable Mudise, those who were in the meeting by that time. Okay.
Yes.
Honorable Njuve, come on. Oh, okay, Magwala, and so on. Okay, here are the minutes of our last meeting, honorable members. Did you check the spelling? Did you check everything? Is it the true reflection of our last meeting?
Yes, Chair.
Chairperson.
Yes, Honorable Dibrain.
Chairperson, there's just a spelling error there on my surname. It's De Bruin, not Du Bruin. It's DEBRUYN, not DU. But other than that, it's fine.
Okay. The spelling of the name for Honorable Dibrain, and otherwise the minute is fine. Any seconder, because Honorable Dibrain moves. Any seconder?
Gwenya, second, Chair.
Thank you very much, honorable members. It was only one set of the minutes, if I'm not mistaken, that was left. So let me take this opportunity to thank everybody who's in the meeting, honorable members, and we apologized for what happened in the morning. We couldn't postpone this meeting, honorable members, because it is in our program and we don't have days. So this is bill was very important. You couldn't postpone it, as I make sure that at least Deputy Minister attend this meeting. But I noted this concern of the committee when they were saying we cannot wait for okay. Maybe I'm not advised here. Honorable Debrain moves, but I'm told he cannot. Was not in the meeting. Okay, but otherwise, I will second Mangwenya. If there is a technical error there, because I think maybe there is a technical error. Okay, no, it's fine. I'll in the issue of the minutes, I will second Mangwenya for moving the minutes, and I'll second. So I'm saying, honorable member, we couldn't postpone this meeting. We had to continue with this meeting because this bill is important for us and for the community, not only us. So that's why I am saying I apologize for keeping you waiting for a long time. Really, I apologize. Thank you very much, members, for attending this meeting. This meeting is officially adjourned.
Thanks very much, Chair.
Recording stopped.